Hello students, hope all of you are doing well. So today I'm again back with direct and indirect speech. So today we will start the chapter from interrogative sentence, how to change interrogative, imperative and exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect speech. So let's begin with interrogative sentence. We all know what is an interrogative sentence, so it shows question, okay? Sentence which asks question is interrogative question. Okay, so while changing direct speech, while changing interrogative, okay, from direct to indirect speech, there are certain rules we need to follow. What are the rules? Let's see. First, that is not used in indirect speech. So when converting direct speech, okay, in interrogative sentence, when converting direct speech into indirect speech, first one is that is redundant, means we don't use that. Second, reporting verb is changed into ask or asked in the indirect speech. We will see some examples, but let's see the C number rule. Question mark is not used in the indirect speech. The question form is changed into the statement form. So, the three rules. First of all, that is not used in the indirect speech. Secondly, the reporting verb changed into asked or ask in the indirect speech. And thirdly, question mark is not used. Okay. So let's see the example. He said to me, "Are you crying?" So this is a question. So when changing this is in direct speech. So while changing direct to indirect, what we will do? First, we will not use that. Okay. So and another thing, we will use asked. Okay, the verb we will use is asked. So he said to me. So when transforming this direct speech into indirect, we will use he asked me if I was studying. Okay. Now come to the fourth number rule. When the question begins with an interrogation pronoun or interrogation adverb, pronouns such as what, whom, okay, who, whose, and with interrogation adverb like when, where, why, how, okay, the same word is used to introduce the indirect speech. So here I have given one example. See, she said to me, "How much do you need for this basket?" So we have to use here asked. So in indirect speech, she asked me. Then what you have to use? You have to, since this how is an interrogation adverb, how much, so we will keep as it is. Okay, so she asked me how much. Then yesterday we read about last class we read about the changes of in pronoun and the nearness of time. So you will be converted into I. Then I needed for that basket. This will change to that basket. So she said to me, "How much do you need for this basket?" This is in direct speech. When we are converting this direct into indirect speech, we will get she asked me how much I need for that basket. Now there is another rule in interrogative sentence. When the question begins with is, do, will, can, or whenever the question may have yes or no for an answer. Suppose it means like if I ask you a question, can you do it for me? So your answer will be either yes or no. So in this kind of sentences, when we will get this kind of sentences in direct speech, while converting this sentence into indirect speech, what we will use, either we can use if or whether. Okay, so example is Roshan said to her, "Do you want this?" So here first of all we have to use ask. So Roshan asked her. Since this is a yes or no answer we are getting, so what we will use? We will use one whether. So Roshan asked her whether she wanted that. This will change to that. Okay. Now imperative statement. or imperative sentence. So while converting imperative sentence from direct to indirect, what are the rules? So before going into the rules, let me just tell you what are imperative sentences. So imperative sentences shows request, order, advice, suggestion, etc. Okay. So what are the rules? Let's see. First one, reporting verb is changed into order, requested, advised, suggested. Okay, that is not used. So like interrogative sentence, here also in imperative sentence that is not used. Thirdly, to is used before the verb of the reported speech. So here I have given you one example. What is that? Let's see. He said to the servant, open the door. Now you have to understand the context. You have to understand what it is. Okay, in imperative statement you can get request, you can get suggestion, you can get request, order, okay, any kinds of advice. Okay, you can get anything. Now here you have to understand what is the tone of the the statement. He said to the servant, open the door. That means here a person whose name is not there, he is actually ordering his servant to open the door, right? So what we will use here, while converting this statement from direct to indirect, we will use he ordered. Okay, so he ordered the servant, then we have to use one to before the verb of the reported speech. So he ordered the servant to open the door. Next one, I said my sister help me. Now this statement shows that I am asking for help. Okay, I'm requesting for help. So here I will use I requested my sister to help me. Okay. Now what is exclamatory sentence? Exclamatory sentence means which express strong feelings or strong emotions. Okay, and it can be sorrow, it can be joy, it can be shock, surprise, anything. Okay, now there are again certain rules for exclamatory sentence, for changing exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect speech. First, reporting verb is changed into exclaimed. Next one, words of exclamation like hurrah, alas, oh are removed. So when we are changing the exclamatory sentence from direct to indirect, these words are redundant. We don't use these words. Okay, and exclamation sign is not used while changing from direct to indirect. Okay, and like assertive sentence, here also we use that. Here I have given a couple of examples. Let's see first number, he said, alas, I am ruined. So this statement shows when we use this kind of statements, alas, I am ruined, when we have done something bad, when we have no other way out to recover from our mistake, that time we say. When we don't have any hope left, so that time we say. So this is a statement of sorrow. You are not actually happy. When we are happy, we don't use this, alas, I'm ruined. Okay, so in this statement, he said, alas, I'm ruined. This statement is what? It is in direct speech. Now while converting this direct statement into indirect, what we will do? First, he said will be converted to he exclaimed. Okay, he exclaimed. But with exclaimed, after that we have to use with what? Since he is not happy, so we can say he exclaimed with sorrow. We have to use that. I will change to he was ruined. So he said, alas, I am ruined. That will change into he exclaimed with sorrow that he was ruined. Next one, see, he said, what a beautiful movie. Now, what a beautiful movie means he was surprised by seeing the movie. So, while converting this direct statement into indirect speech, rather direct speech into indirect speech, what we will write? He exclaimed with surprise that it was a beautiful movie. Okay. Now suppose if I change this word into horrible or terrible. Okay. Let us suppose he said, what a terrible movie. What a terrible movie. Now while changing this statement from direct to indirect, how we can write? He exclaimed with surprise. No, that time he was not at all surprised. He will be shocked. So he exclaimed with shock that it was a terrible movie. So students, hope you have understood what I tried to say. Please solve the assignments given to you. We will discuss the answers in the live class. Okay, thank you.